Like him, she used to be attired, always in fashion and in style, not asking for a peace of mind. The girl was taken to the shrine, and to dispel her great distress, the clever husband changed place to his own village, where she was surrounded by simple folks. She struggled fiercely and cried. Then she decided to divorce, and then she dipped in house chores, got used and fully satisfied. The habit is given us by God. It is the same as happy lot. The habit sweetened tribulation that could be eased by no means, and then a stunning revelation was all at once a great release. Between affairs and leisure time, she found the secret clandestine, how to rule her husband tight, and everything was then all right. She went to works on working days. She stored mushrooms and dry fruits, kept books, shaved foreheads of recruits, and took a bath on Saturdays. Got mad and thrashed her housemaid, no matter what her husband said. It happened that she wrote in blood into albums of tender virgins. She gave their names a foreign sound, her words and music nearly merging. She wore a corset very narrow, pronouncing in the same manner both French and Russian nasal sounds, but that was soon no more around. The corset, album, princely fame, the book of sentimental rhymes were all forgotten. Reacquired her old friends their former names, and she eventually could refresh her gown and sleeping hood. Her husband loved her very truly. He entered no games with her, believing her in all her doings and wearing gown everywhere. His life was rolling very smoothly. Of afternoon they came cutely, the good old family of friends, in short-sleeved shirts with no pretense to fret and gossip just a little and to make fun a certain while. The time goes on just fine. Will Olga start to heat the kettle, then supper and of course bedtime, and then the guests would soon retire. They did preserve in peaceful time the habitudes of old life. They had at Fetish Rove Tide Russian pancakes in great supply. They twice a year would go fasting, the Easter songs and circle dancing, and liked the fun of round swinging at Trinity when all good kindred, while yawning, were repeating prayer with sorrow at the beam of dawn. They dropped 3 tiny tears down. They needed acid kvass like air, and at the table with the guests delivered meals to please the best. And so they were getting old, and opened finally beneath the doors of coffin, damp and cold. The spouse adopted the new reed. He died before the dinner time, mourned by his children and his wife, and by his honest next-door neighbor with more sincerity than ever. He was a simple and kindly barin, and on the grave with his remains there is a tombstone that claims a modest sinner, Dmitri Larin, a slave of God and warrior fierce, is down here enjoying peace. Returning to his heart and home Vladimir Lenski came and saw his neighbor's modest graveyard stone and honored ashes by his woe. And long was broken heart in pain, poor Yorick all then heard him saying. He used to hold me in his lap, and when a child I used to grab his medals won in combat action. He pledged that Olga marry me. He hoped to live enough to see, and full of genuine affection, Vladimir on the same day composed a poem on his grave. And there, with a sad inscription for both his parents and he cried, he carried his sepulchral mission, alas, on the highways of life, by secret providence creation, in instant harvest, generations will sprout and ripen and go down, then others will make another round. Thus our tribesmen of easy mind will grow up and ruffle and rave, pressing the elders to the grave. We are arriving at the line when our progeny, great Lord, will blow us out of this world. Take pleasure from your life a while. It can excite you and enthrall. I understand its trivial kind, being not attached to it at all. I closed my eyes for ghostly visions, but distant hopes and apparitions will trouble heart from time to time, and leaving no trace behind, when writing I don't expect reward, but it would still be so nice to become slightly recognized. I would be sad to leave this world without at least a single sound, stay as a relic to my talent. And that it touch somebody's soul, and then by providence sustained, perhaps the rhyme that I composed may not be lost but will remain. Perhaps I hope against hope, and then a future simple bloke will point to my illustrious face and say, he had a touch of grace. Accept my gratitude, be kind, the fan of peaceful Aeonides. O you whose love of letters heeds my volatile works of mind, O you whose favorable hand will handle laurels of old man.